Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions in the comment section about what these clamps are, how I make them, where you get them from, and why I like to use them. These are a cheaper version of clamps like the Rockler clamps. We've all seen other people use them and we've all wanted them. The thing is, they are insanely expensive. And me personally, I don't really have that budget for clamps, so these are a really good alternative. These are panel clamps, also known as four-way pressure clamps, and it is just exactly that. They're designed to squeeze in and squeeze down. When you're doing glue ups, multiple panels, these are the perfect thing. Normally, you just make them out of your offcut timber, but I want to try and do something a little different. I've got a bunch of this 40mm by 40mm SHS galvanized steel stock, and I want to see if I can make some longer versions of these out of steel to eliminate any flexing. They're pretty good, but the instructions say not to go any longer than this, otherwise you can get some deflection when you're applying the pressure. So I'll run through how I make some out of timber, and then I'm going to have a go at making some out of metal. I think another bonus making them out of the gal is that obviously when you glue up things with wood, glue sticks to it. So I normally put a piece of duct tape, or you can use packing tape or any kind of tape that glue won't stick to on that surface. I like the idea of not having to do that anymore, so hence the gal. So here's how they come. This is the brand that I use. I'm in Australia, so I buy mine from a company called Timberclamp. I will put a link, and if you're in Australia, you can source these, but if not, you can buy kits that are equally as good from Amazon, and I'll also pop a link in the description so you can access those if you're outside of Australia. So each box contains one clamp. And they come with these bits that go on the top of the clamps for the arms to lock into. This is so you can adjust the size of your clamp depending on what size glue up you're doing. Some instructions. First time I set these up, I didn't use the instructions and I did it completely wrong. And instead of squeezing the panel in, it actually bowed it. So pay attention to your instructions. A little windy bit and the bit that goes on the other end. So these are the instructions. Now to break this down, all these instructions are saying is a maximum length of 18 inches. That's why I'm going to use the steel for mine, so I can make them longer. But 18 inches is actually a pretty big glue up. It's also saying to make a 1/4 inch high relief, that's 6 inches wide. Now the reason for that is, you can see the center of these two clamp ends are a different size. If we didn't take that notch out, the clamp would be tapered. It'd be thicker on one end and skinnier on the other end because this is so much thicker than this end. You can see here where I've got this relief cut out and not on this end. And that's because of that fat barrel, that nut. If you didn't have it, it would sit up something like this. It's not gonna work properly. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. So, because we're doing this for demonstration purpose only, I'm going to use a piece of softwood because I don't want to mill up all my good hardwoods. If I was making this to use in my shop and not just for a demonstration, I would definitely use something thick, heavy and solid, some really chunky hardwood that you know is not going to have much flex in it. But for what we're doing here, a piece of 2x4 pine will be perfect. What I'm going to do is run it through the table saw and mill it up to 40mm by 40mm. If you're in Imperial, that's going to be 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So let's go ahead and do that. The next step, it says to mark out 6 inches from the end and 1/4 inch in depth. And that piece will cut out of each rail, one on the top and one on the bottom. Don't do both ends, I only have to do one end for each mark. Mark. Now, a 1/4 inch is 6.35mm, according to Siri. So I'll go ahead and set, oh God, this thing frustrates the heck out of me. We'll go ahead and we'll set to just over 6mm. And make a mark, make a mark. And this, oh God, excuse my scribbles, but this is the section that we'll take out on the table saw. Actually, I might do it on the bandsaw. So once you've taken your notches out, you should end up with something like this. And that's where this fat bit will sit in there. Next step is to mark out 7 inches from each end. 7 inches, 7 inches, 7 inches. And this will just give us a location to mount our hardware. One other thing, why is this particular brand only available in Australia? Why is it in imperial and not metric? That makes 0 sense to me. Anyway, so next, from that line, we take our long bit, we're 7 inches in, and then our small bit goes on the opposite side of this recessed area. So we lay those out, put our mufflers on, comes with some little screws. Screws falling down the hole, man. I thought I had a little magnet, extendable magnet. Here it is. That's why we have one of these. It's the only thing about having dog holes in a torsion box. So you should end up with something like that. That's your top rail. This is your bottom rail. Then this piece, fat roller, always on the bottom here. And this piece goes the right way around on here. Now you can see that that roller has got all that clearance that it needs to run back and forwards. From there, you would slide your top panel in, lock it into the whatever you want to call it. And then, depending on what size glue up you're doing, you can adjust this to whatever size. Whatever notch makes your glue up smaller. And you can go all the way to there. So that's basically the maximum size of our glue up. And that's what you end up with. Panel clamps. A really good, cheap alternative to things like the Rockler clamps or other Deano brands. So this will be the exact same process, except I'm going to do it out of metal. So and then all I'll have to do, put a few little tack welds along there, and that should be pretty good. So I realized something pretty quickly, cutting these out and banging these end caps back on. For the average person, it's probably a little unachievable unless you're pretty comfortable welding or even own a welder. So I think I'm actually just going to go around and wrap the end with some duct tape. And as long as it holds that on and it gives that roller bearing like something to ride on, I think it'll be fine. So yeah, I think that's a much better solution. And down the road, if I'm having some trouble with it, I can always weld it on then. But yeah, I'll do that and I'll see how it works. Like, that's pretty solid. That bit's never going to come off. And I don't think we've lost any like structural integrity there. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish the rest like that. I think that's a really good solution. And it's much more achievable for the average guy or girl out in their workshop who's just building things for fun and doesn't have a big furniture shop and can't justify the cost of expensive clamps. From here, it's just going to be the same process as what we did with the other ones. Just mark out our location, 7 inches. 7 inches. 7 inches is a lot, by the way. Don't let anyone tell you any different. And then let's drill some holes and put in our thingamawattsies. So, long one down this end, mark out our holes. Small piece up this end, mark out our holes. Center punch. And then, if we've done our job properly, we should, no idea. These are technically wood screws, but we'll see. Well, it's in. Don't know if it'll ever come out again, but it's in. Right, let's see. Small end. Windy end on there. And if we're good, we should have a functioning clamp. Well, I'll be. Look at that. Isn't that just an absolute thing of beauty? We can adjust to whatever size we want. I think that is just amazing. So technically now, we wind this dude all the way out. That surface in there, I can now do 800mm glue ups. Whatever that is in inches, I don't know, but that's like small table size. For reference, these pieces of steel I used were just under 1.2 meters, so just under 1200mm. There you go. Really cheap way, cost-effective way to make really good, strong clamps. I think each one of these clamps, I'm in it for about 60 bucks. The kit per clamp is around 40 bucks, and then, yeah, a little bit of tape, a little bit of steel, a couple of grinding discs, and you've saved yourself a few $100. So you're welcome. Enjoy.